Okay, welcome back. Welcome back, everyone.
Thank you.
In the previous class, we already discussed with constructor, we discussed with states, we discussed with behavior, we discussed with properties and methods, how we can access them, how we can create class, and how from class we can create object, and how creating object and using the reference variable of the object with dot operator, how we can access all the properties and methods. We already discussed it, and I hope the concept is very clear, right? Now I want to create another class, and the name of the class is teacher. Okay, and I check in public static void main method, and this main method is the entry point of Java program. Okay, now we are going to discuss with 4 principles of object-oriented programming. We may not complete today everything, but I hope we can complete today the inheritance and encapsulation in full. So what is inheritance?
In the inheritance, we from the child class can inherit all attributes in the method from the superclass or the mother class. So this concept is called the inheritance.
Inheritance is a method or process of inheriting all the properties and methods of a superclass by a subclass, or we call it child class or subordinate class. And superclass is called also parent class or main class or base class, so many names. Okay, so it's actually process of inheriting what? All the properties and methods from a superclass by child class, from parent class by child class. And this concept of inheriting properties and methods are called inheritance. Why inheritance? Why do we need to use inheritance? Inheritance help avoiding repetition of codes or program. Hence it saves tons of times. Okay, and time is money. Okay, how? We don't need to create method again and again. We don't need to declare and define same properties and methods, same properties and attributes again and again. Okay, so the teacher class doesn't have anything right now, but we can maybe declare and define variable called we have salary in parent class. Say for profession is teaching. We don't have anything but profession attribute for a teacher. We don't have teacher's name, we don't have teacher's age, we don't have salary, but we can access all the attributes of this human being. Whatever we declare and define here, whatever method we created here, we can access all these properties and methods from human class by teacher class. To do it, what we have to do first, we have to create object of the child class, teacher, T1, teacher1, new teacher. All right, and now T1 can access profession, right? And even we can print. See, so control spacebar. Run as Java application. Here you go, teaching. But though we didn't declare and define any other properties and methods, we want to access everything, whatever we have inside human class. Now we can access them. How? Jahid, how we can access them?
The mother class.
How we can access them? How we can inherit?
Like what?
How we can inherit all the properties and method?
By using extend keyword.
By using extend keyword. So extends what? Human class, right?
Yes.
Now we are inheriting meaning this teacher class is inheriting from human class. Whatever human has inside human class, whatever the human class does have attributes and properties and also method, teacher can inherit. Okay, now I can say CISO t1 dot name. Okay, teacher yet doesn't have name, but it's accessing HEMA. Okay, now I can say t1 dot name equal to Albert. Okay, and t1 dot age equal to 29, t1 dot cell equal to 200k. all right, now we don't have name properties, we don't have age properties, we don't have salary properties for this teacher class here. We didn't declare and define. Still, we can use all these properties and attributes from superclass, and superclass is human class, right? Anish sir, clear? Okay, now we can access whatever we want. We can have age, we can have salary, Albert can have even profession. Actually, the profession I already accessed. Okay, so this is inheritance. Now it can have multi-level inheritance. Even you can access from, if you create another class, same way you can access from human class, from some other classes too. Okay, now let's go to encapsulation. I think I started with encapsulation, but I didn't complete it the next day. What is the meaning of encapsulates? To hide data. To wrap data. Wrap. Okay? To wrap data. Why? To secure it from outer world. Okay, let's start with encapsulation. I just create here another class and I name it We can name it anything. Say for example, engineer. And I click on finish. Engineer class. Okay. Now, what is encapsulation? Encapsulation, encapsulates. Encapsulates means to wrap data, sensitive data, why? To secure it. Data are always sensitive and invaluable for any company. So it is the developer's duty, the programmer's duty to make data safe, okay, so that anyone can have access and change the data, so that anyone cannot retrieve data and destroy the data or delete data or change data. Okay, so I think in the previous lectures we discussed about private keyword. Private is access modifier, and it can protect even at variable levels. Okay, private keyword can protect data, hide data, sensitive data. And when we use this private keyword, we cannot access it from one class to another. We cannot access data from human with teacher and engineer class. Okay, so it is really important to save our data, and we use private in front of any variable. It can be string, it can be integer, whatever. But at the same time, we have to access them. Okay, we can hide data by using keyword as private. However, this data is accessible what is the spelling of accessible? Accessible accessible. Oh, yes, accessible. Data are accessible. How we can access? If we provide public get and set methods, we call it getter and setter method. Okay, and the get method returns the variable value, and the set method sets the value. If we want to get value, we have to set it. We will learn it by example. Okay, this engineer class, say for example, has string name and integer age. All right, now how we can make it restricted? If we want to make it restricted, we have to use private keyword, right? Now name variable is restricted. Nobody can see it or access it from different class. The same way we can restrict this one too. I have another string, and that is posts position. But I'm not restricting it. Okay, let's see what we can do. Now we need getter and setter method. Getter method, we can say public string get name, say for example for name. Okay, and it must have also setter method. Setter method it will be also public void sets name, and we have to provide a new name. All right, and new name, since there is a name in the class level, so name will be new name, name will be new name. All right, now you can remove it. Where is delete? Can you see delete? I want to delete it. Okay, cut. And I can right button click, okay, and go to resource. Where is resource? Resource, no, source. Source, Alt Shift 5, or getter and setter. Okay, getter and setter, and whatever you want to set getter and setter method, you can choose from here. Okay, and just click generate. You see, everything has been set. You don't need to write them. Get name, return name, public void set name, this name equal to name. You can say new name or anything actually. Alright, clear? Any question?
No question.
Okay, now I want to create another class, and name of the class is engineer tests, and here I want public static void main. Okay, if we want to access the properties or methods, whatever, we need what? We need to create object. Create object from where we want to access. We want to access from engineer. So we will create object for engineer. New engineer. Okay, and now I want to access with engineer reference variable engineer1 dots, say for example name equal to Jahidul, say for example. Okay, can you access it? What do you think? We are trying to access, say for example, is engineer one dot name. Can we access it? What do you think? We cannot access it. Why? The field engineer.name is not visible. Why it is not visible? Because it is protected. This is private. This is private. This is also private. What about position? If you try to access, say for example, so control spacebar, engineer 1 dot posts, right? It says null because position is not defined yet, but we can define here. Equal to stats. And now you can access it. You can access it because in engineer you protected these two data, and that's why you cannot access them, but you didn't protect it, so you can access it. Now if you make it private too, now go and check. Now you cannot access it. Now if you run it, it will say Java application, engineer post is not visible now. All right, so now we almost work with setter and getter. So now we can access them. I can say engineer one, right, dot sets name. Okay, it's not h, it's a set name. Okay, and I can name it Jahidul Islam. Okay, now I can say CISO control spacebar, and I can say engineer 1 dot get name. Okay, all right. Zahidul Islam. Now I can access whatever I have inside engineer, the name, though it is protected. How we did it? We set name, then we retrieve the name. The same way you can access the h and get h, set h, get h. The same way you can set the posts and get the posts. Clear? Jahid?
Yes, it's clear.
Who else there? Anis sir, is it clear? You don't need to write this code. What I did, I just right button click here, go to source and go to generate getter and setters, and whatever you want to access, just generate them. Clear? And sensitive data always we put in separate class and access them from different class. That is why we didn't keep here any main method. We are arranging in another class and keeping the main method there, and we are accessing the data from there. And this concept is called encapsulation. Now, in test automation, you need mostly inheritance and encapsulation. And polymorphism also. Alright, so in the next class we are going to discuss about polymorphism and abstraction, and we already discussed inheritance. I hope we can also discuss method overriding. We already discussed about method overloading, and we are going to discuss method overriding. Method overloading is just keeping all same name of the method and changing the parameters. Okay, changing the parameters. It can be like integer, double, string. So parameters should be different, but name will be the same. But method overriding almost same, but it will happen in different class. Okay, same name with different parameter or data. All right, so if you have any question, and please go to the group QA manual and automation jobs. I posted how you can push the codes into Eclipse, from Eclipse to GitHub. There is a very short presentation by a test automation architect. I forgot his name. He is test architect. I know his name.
Build brand online. Build your brand online.
His name is Raghav. All right. Thank you so much. And from now on, in the next class, I will discuss more about it. If you can't follow him, don't worry about it. I will show you how to do it. And from now on, I will be expecting you will be pushing your codes, whatever you are practicing, whatever you are developing, whatever you are testing, just push all the codes into GitHub, and it will become a nice profile for you. Okay, thank you so much. See you in the next session.